So we're left with a little bit of a blank slate at the end of this season.
Yeah, definitely.
For you as an actor going into it, is it exciting or kind of nervous because you don't know where this is going?
It's a little scary. I mean, I'm playing a completely new character for as far as I've shot. So basically, I'm left to my own devices to create something completely new. The monster isn't book canon, so there's not source material for me to pull from. Originally, when we started the show, I was most nervous about staying true to the character from the books that Lev Grossman created, and now I'm sort of left to my own devices. And the showrunners, of course, are feeding me little ideas here and there, but even they aren't telling me the whole story yet. So I'm sort of out here making some, pretty specific choices that I hope translate. And the character is completely different than Elliot. It's not what people will necessarily expect from me. So I hope that it surprises people in a really positive way. I don't know.
Is the season opening where we left off with that showdown between Elliot and Quentin?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's a showdown as much as the monster kind of has Quentin on a leash.
Okay.
And he sort of takes him. It's almost like, have you ever seen the movie Let the Right One In?
Yeah.
I have the sense that the monster always has one person that he associates with who's meant to be his caretaker and best friend and, singular one person who's essentially there to provide for him and make him feel safe and good and comfortable. So, right.
Is this your fourth time at Comic-Con? Third time?
This is our, I think this will be our third at San Diego, and in October it'll be our fourth in New York.
Is it still exciting to come here and see all the fans of this show?
It is. I mean, we've only seen a few here and there in between interviews today. Our panel is coming up later, so that's really when I feel like we get the biggest boost from the fans of the show.
Yeah.
And they're always just very loving and very protective of the characters and also of us as actors. They really are so genuine. So it's always a treat. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Good luck next season.
Thank you.
When you're approached by fans on the street, what is the thing that they ask you the most about the Magicians?
I don't know. I don't get a lot of questions about it. I think it's pretty spelled out on the show. People are just really gracious and cool and excited about the show and about kind of some of the more nuanced things that the show tackles. It's a show about magic, but it's not. It's really a show about depression and anxiety and sexual assault. And magic is a lens with which to view those things. And I think it can sometimes be easy to forget that when we're inside of it. It's something that we try to guard and put a lot of care into. But it's not until you start interacting with people and seeing how it affects them and people have received those messages that we've put in.
Right.
That's especially what's so wonderful about Comic-Con, of getting to meet all the fans. And we've always had amazing panels and incredible questions from the fans, and a lot of people just saying how much the show has touched them and helped them through hard times. Which, for a show that is so fun and funny, you may not think that it has that power, but it's really cool to be in a position to be reminded of that.
Right. Presumably, Quentin has to learn magic from scratch coming up in the new season, correct?
Presumably.
Presumably. Yeah. So, as an actor, do you play that the same way as Quentin learned? Does he make the same mistakes from an acting standpoint? Because he's still the same guy. But do you play it the same way you played it the first time, or is it different this time?
Well, I mean, Quentin's matured a tremendous amount, I think, from when we met him in season 1. And if you think about it, he's really has the emotional maturity of someone who's 120 years old, because of the episode where he lives a whole lifetime. He's experienced a whole life's worth of tragedies, of ups and downs, of death and despair and love and marriage and having a child, and losing a best friend and saving the world and destroying the world. Like, he's done so much that this person can't possibly be the same person he started as. And so in the relearning of who he is, or what magic is, I would suppose that he would come at that with a little more maturity and wisdom than he did in the first place.
I wouldn't have even thought of that. That's why you're so good, because you've thought through all of that. I'd just be like, yeah, I'm just going to do the same stupid things all over again, right?
That's why I get paid the big bucks.
Thank you so much. Good luck on the new season.
Thanks very much.
Alice is in a tough spot when we end this season. Where do you see this arc going? I know you can't reveal much, but where is she mentally when we open this new season?
She's pretty sad and depressed at the beginning of this season. She doesn't know if her friends are alive or dead, and if they are dead, it's basically her fault, so she's dealing with a lot of heavy stuff when we first find her. But, Alice always depends on her brain and her intelligence, and eventually the wheels start turning, and she's got to figure out a way out and how to save them. So that's kind of what the first quarter of the season is like.
Is it fun that, even though you're not a part of the sort of blank slate that's happened to this series, that this opens up new roads of storytelling and where this can go? Is that exciting for you, even though you're not one of those characters?
Yeah. I've been reinvented Alice so many times over 4 years that I feel like it's their turn now to get to reinvent their characters. So I'm kind of going back to season 1 Alice, which I like, just kind of more innocent, doesn't have all the answers. She started to get really dark in season 3, and I'm trying to figure out how to get her out of the dark place. So I'm happy playing normal Alice. I like it.
So at Comic-Con, of course, it's all about fandom and things that make us geek out. What are some of the things that make you geek out, whether it's TV or movies or toys or video games? Like, what's that thing for you?
I mean, I'm a big animal nerd. I love my animals, love my dogs, love my horses. I used to be a nerd. I used to come to Comic-Con as a fan all the time, but now it's a little different being on the other side of it. But I don't know. I watch a lot of TV and movies and hang out with my dogs. It's like all I care about.
When you run into fans, what is the question that they ask you more than anything else?
They don't really ask questions. They more tell me their opinions. Our fans are really wonderful. They, at the end of last year, some of them were pretty upset with what Alice did, and they made sure I knew it. It's interesting how people can't separate the characters from the human beings playing them. But most of the time, our fans are so generous. They love to tell us their real life stories and how our show affects them, and they're very giving and they're very open. And I've never experienced fans that were this emotionally attached to the material I was working on. So it's a huge gift.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah.
You've sort of got a clean sandbox to play within now, with multiple roads that you can go down. Is that you've made the decision to do it? Is it scary or sort of refreshing that you can go in so many different directions?
Both.
Yeah.
I like to leave a show as fucked as it can possibly be at the end of every season. I think that's a good rule. And in fact, now though it's predictable enough to the writers that we work with that they're starting to bug me like, Sarah, we should do a season where we don't just fuck everybody entirely. Like, just to keep people guessing, you might want to give someone a win at the end of the season. So who knows what season 4 will be at the end. It might be a little different.
Can we assume this is not a permanent thing? Or is it something you're going to take back via magic somehow?
Do you mean the identities?
Yes, I'm sorry, the mind wipe.
It is the immediate obstacle of the season that they have no idea who they were, and this monster is coming for them. I the library is also pissed at them. The McAllisters are also very upset with them. And so essentially they're in witness protection, but there are a lot of really powerful magical forces coming their way, and the only person who really knows about it is Alice, who's in prison.
And the Dean.
Yeah, the Dean is not that helpful.
Yeah.
So it is the pressing problem at the beginning of the season. So maybe they'll find a way out of it, or maybe we'll kill all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the past, you've done your classic Big Bad season, and last season you've done your Quest season. This feels like a little bit of a mix, a quest with a big bad, messing it up for them. How is that an accurate description?
Yeah, there's another element that's I think really interesting and that we haven't really done before, which is they're battling a huge, powerful institution that is becoming fascist. And that's the library.
Yeah.
There's a lot of 1984 in Brave New World.
1984. How about 2018? Right?
Yeah, right.
Am I right?
Yeah, you are right.
It's funny because it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been on our minds a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I think that's a good place to stop.
Thank you very much.
Elliot and Margot have traditionally been the comic relief
Yes.
of this series.
Yes.
How does what we've seen happen at the end of this last season change that? Because it's kind of serious, you know?
It is, yeah. I think something Hale and I have always tried to focus on is deepening who Elliot and Margot are as characters, because they are rather deep and they are rather complex in the books and have become that on the show when we've spent more time with them. So I think all of us have fluctuated in and out of comedy and drama. It's The Magicians, and tonally it's an interesting show to be on because you are constantly straddling both the world.
Right.
While trying to keep it as grounded as possible. Because anytime you're dealing with material that is fantasy in origin or genre, you want to ground it. It still has to feel real, even though that it's impossible to be, but it still has to feel real. So it's just an interesting show to be on tonally.
Yeah. So as an actress then, is it exciting that you've been given this blank slate to almost create your character again in different nuanced ways?
I do think that it is a new and welcome challenge, but I didn't approach it as a blank slate.
Okay.
I approached it from the perspective of her identity most likely is not entirely and solely wrapped up in the knowledge that magic is real and that she can perform magic herself.
Got it.
There was probably some pretty major and core characteristics and values that she possessed prior to knowing about magic and will possess despite its absence.
Understood.
So she's close to home still.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank
I appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you
Nice
so
seeing
much.
you.
Just say Comic-Con into your Xfinity X1 voice remote to see even more from this year's con.